Welcome to the pmo365 Team Integration for Project Management webinar. I hope that you can see this PDF that I put up on screen now. The idea here is that how do we make project teams collaborate around different aspects of a project. We specifically talking today about schedule, as in tasks, assignments, and so on, and managing artifacts. And artifacts could be documents, could be issues, could be risks, and so on. Before I get into the demo, this is a very simple picture to put things in perspective. Teams is kind of being obviously promoted as the collaboration platform of choice by Microsoft. It is obviously used for more than just collaborating around projects. All of types of collaboration and communications can happen through Teams. Obviously, this is not a session about Teams functionality in detail. This is just how it can be used for project management. The vision here is that Team can integrate with many applications. On the right-hand side here, you can see the Microsoft type applications, be it SharePoint, Project, Planner, To-Do, Azure Boards, even Excel can trigger a creation of a Microsoft team or a channel, as an existing Teams workspace. So the idea is that you can have those teams not only just showing or interacting with Microsoft applications like you see on the right-hand side, but also trigger actions like creating a new team or a channel within a team. But also it definitely can integrate with non-Microsoft applications. Here's a list of some of those, like for example, Jira is one of the ones that we've seen a lot. ServiceNow is another one, but other things like SAP, Oracle, Technology One, and the alike also can be used to either through Teams, either for interaction or in fact triggering actions. So we were going to talk about Teams today in three parts. First of all, the auto creation of a channel or a team based on a trigger. And then we're going to talk about how we can then use Teams to manage schedules and tasks, assignments, and the alike using two applications. I'm going to use Planner and Project for the Web today. And the last one is managing artifacts like documents and risks and issues and the alike. All right. So starting from the top. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with pmo365. pmo365 is a brand by EPM Partners, available on SharePoint architecture, but also Power Platform architecture. I won't go to the details here. But the idea here is that we would like to create, I will start with a channel in Teams for every new project we create. And I'm going to use Project Online. I could use also Planner. I'm not going to demonstrate the details of how Planner creates a channel or a team. I'll just use Project Online today, but it is the same. You can apply the same principle for Planner, Project for the Web, and other applications. So again, the idea here is that when a new project, here's a list of projects. If I go to all projects, you see there's a list of projects that are living in pmo365 in a SharePoint architecture. We can create as many as you want, as you can see here. And the idea here is that, let me bring my teams. If I go to Teams, you'll see that I have one single team that is called projects, and then I have a channel dedicated for each team that I can use for collaboration, integration, tasks management, and the kind of a standard project management activities that we are talking about. So, for example, I have this project called COVID-19 Work from Home Preps project. Given the circumstances that we're all living in these days. And inside that channel, I can see there are lots of people who can work on files, project documents, risks, issues. Project documents, risks, Planner, schedule, and so on. So the idea here is that as a new project is created, we'll create another channel inside this one team called project. That's one way of going about it. The other way is create a dedicated team for each project. So, for example, if I go here, car park upgrade, this is a dedicated team for a certain project. And in here, you can see that I can have different type of channels based on the type of the project. So I have a channel for detailed design, one for procurement, one for construction, one for project closure, one for financials, and so on. Either options are valid. It depends on your, I guess, complexity in terms of the project, different artifacts and areas. If you feel that you have a large project where tens and people will need to collaborate, creating a dedicated team with dedicated channels for that particular project would be a good idea. If it's a kind of a more medium small project, a single channel might do it. But again, it's a configuration choice. You can go either way. So let's start with demonstrating how I create a channel for any new project that I create from Project Online. And again, I'm making this example Project Online, but as I said, you can have other application to trigger this action. The key application that we have here is called Automate. So the people who are familiar with Power Apps and the Power Platform, well, it used to be called Power Flow, but now Microsoft have renamed it and rebranded to Power Automate. So the idea of Power Automate that you create a flow to say in the event of creating a project, in my case, Project Online, create a channel in a certain team. Again, the trigger could be from any other places. So if I go and start the flow, create an automate flow, you can give it whatever you want to call it, project create channel in Teams, and you can search on triggers. Now the triggers available for you are dependent on what we call the connectors that you have set up in your Power Automate. There are out-of-the-box connectors, Project Online, SharePoint, Excel, Planner, Jira, ServiceNow. All of these are out-of-the-box. SAP, Oracle, all of those connectors are actually out-of-the-box from Microsoft that you can utilize to create a channel in Teams or a team, which I'm going to talk about later, how to create a team rather than a channel. But all those connectors are available for us. You can choose from them. I will just choose a project. So the trigger is that I'm creating a project in Project Online. So you can see this when a new project is created in Project Online, create a channel in a certain team. And I will go create. But actually, before I do that, I'll show you the options available for me. You can use, for example, if you use Asana, if you use DevOps, Microsoft Azure DevOps, if you're using Jira, if you're using Teamworks, and so on. So there's lots of Microsoft and non-Microsoft applications. Jira is one of them, as you can see here. So a whole heap of different types of applications. In fact, even Outlook can be integrated with, obviously SharePoint and so on. So a very rich list of triggers to generate your channel or your team. Now, before I actually go on with this, creating a team is not an available action in Flow yet. You would need to call what's so-called a Graph Explorer, and I'm going to talk about it later. So if you're using Power Automate, all you can do out of the box without having to use other applications is creating a channel inside an existing team. If you want to create a new team for each project, you would need to call kind of an external action. In this case, I'm using a Graph Explorer, and it's basically a service for Microsoft to call activities and actions like creating a team using the API. So look, I'm going to carry on and create a project when Project Online creates a new project. Sorry, create a channel in a team when a Project Online project is created. So first of thing, it goes, okay, what's the URL that you want? So I'll go to my Project Online, copy the URL for Project Online, paste it on the Automate flow, and then go, yeah, when a project is created in this Project Online instance, what is the next step? Create a team channel, as we said. So Microsoft Teams, and we would like to create a channel. There we go. And then in the channel itself, well, first of all, it goes, what's the project ID? And then it will load the projects, the team, sorry, that you have. So I have an existing team called projects. So I'm going to put it here. And then, okay, what's the name of the channel? And this is very useful. So you go, okay, well, the name of the channel, I would like it to be the same name of the project. So as you create a new project, in Project Online, bring that project name and create it as a channel in my team. So as you can see here, return project creation date, last modified, and so on. I would like to return the project name. And that's it, really. That's it. That's my flow created. I can save it. It's as easy as this. So again, the automate now will create a channel inside an existing team. Whenever a Project Online project is created, you save it, and that's pretty much it. You save it, and that's it. It's done. Now, creating a team, as I said, is a bit more involved in terms of what you need to do. You still have to use automate, but you use, again, the Graph Explorer here. And in the Graph Explorer, you will get teams. So use the get method to using Teams API, and you get the API, relevant API, to create a team rather than a channel in existing team. In an existing team. So look, I'm not going to go through the coding of this. If you're interested, please contact us, and we will be more than happy to share with you that code. In fact, there are blogs on the internet to show you how to do that. Not to create a project from, a team from a Project Online or any other project trigger, but how to call the API of Teams to create a team using Microsoft Graph. So if you just search that, you will find a number of places to show you how to do that. But then in my Power Automate, I'll just call that creation, that get action, and the API of Teams to create a new team. Right. So let's test this again. Let's look at the teams that I have here. So that's the projects, and I would like to test now adding a new team inside my teams called new channel inside the team that is called projects. So let's do that. So I'm going to go to my Project Online. And then create a new project. So new project. Also, while I'm doing this, you can actually have it more sophisticated than this. This is going to create a blank channel. You can actually copy a channel, and the idea is that you create a. So let me just do this Teams webinar. What's today? The 4th. Sorry, the 8th of April. I'm just gonna create finish. So while waiting for this, we'll talk about the copying of a channel. So this is now going to create a project. We're not really interested on what's going to happen in each project online. We just need to wait here to make sure that this webinar demo 0804 should appear here. But again, the idea here, you can actually create channels based on a template if you'd like. And the idea here is that you create a channel, you set it up the way that you want to set it up, and then in your basically automate, you don't just create a channel. You go create a channel and copy a channel instead of just create. So you copy an existing channel that you would set up, blank, obviously, no content in it, just the structure of it, the tabs inside the channel, the logic inside the channel, and you copy it across. So instead of starting with a kind of a blank channel, you will have a channel that is already predefined with tabs and content in it. So let me just double check and see if that's been created. This is created, so give it a bit of time. It's not instant, but as we refresh this, the new, there we go. It's actually now it's there. Teams webinar has been created. So I'll just go show. Teams webinar 0804 has been created for me automatically. I didn't have to create it myself and so on. But as I said, this is the standard channel that comes with files and wiki only. No other tabs been added. You can add to your logic in the automate a copy function, so it will copy an existing channel and will come with the tabs you want. I've done already one here. So that's kind of the first part of the webinar today, how to auto create either teams or channels to manage your projects. Now, going to the next bit, the ability then to have managing your schedules or tasks. So for that, I'm going to use again 2 examples. You can think of any other types of applications. That's the beauty about Teams. It's a collaboration platform that supports numerous types of applications. But I'm going to use 2 things. I will start with Project for the Web. So if I go Project for the Web, and it's, I don't know how familiar you are with Project for the Web, but it's basically Microsoft's new a scheduling engine. It's called Project for the Web. It is basically, if I look at my project that I've created, so using the same automate thinking, as you create a project using either Project for the Web or Project Online or whatever the case might be, you also create a schedule. So this is the schedule, and the same concept, by the way, applies. You can copy a schedule from an existing schedule and so on. But that basically a schedule that has been created for me as and the back scene using automate, and it came up with these tasks. Obviously, I've done a bit of work there of assigned resources. This is Project for the Web. It's available on the browser. It has 3 views. You can see a grid. You can see it on board, and the board basically is the idea of seeing it in buckets or progress. You know which tasks have started, which ones are in progress. You can update them from here. You can see it in time-wise, like a Gantt chart view. So, for example, if I want to create dependencies between the tasks, I just literally click on a task and join it to the other, and that will create a dependency for me, and so on. So this is kind of a Gantt chart equivalent experience, like the old Microsoft project on the desktop type of application, but on the web. It's much slicker. It is easier to use. Obviously, limited functionality compared to the full-fledged Microsoft project on the desktop. But again, it depends on your project manager or people who are managing the schedule, whether they want all functionality or kind of this functionality on the web. You can assign resources. You can do all of the standard stuff you would do in Microsoft project. So basically what you can do then, if we go to Teams, excuse me, you will see that I have a tab here called Schedule. So again, without having to jump from one place to the other, I can then access that Gantt chart via Teams. And again, the way that you would do that is that you would have an existing channel with with all those tabs preset, and you copy it, so it will bring that particular tab into the channel for that particular project. So as you can see, this is the COVID-19 work from home preps project. It basically came with the same tag. It is exactly the same function that you've seen on the first page, but now it is consumed via Teams. So I can go here, whether it is you as someone who's managing the schedule, project manager, project coordinator, or in fact a team member who would like to see your task. Again, this is a part of the configuration, whether you want to allow everyone to see everyone's tasks or only their tasks. This all can be configured. But let's say I want to see now my task by progress, and I am Peter, and I'm saying, look, milestone 1 is now completed. So I can literally drag and say, put it here as a completed task. So within Teams, I can then, the channel's auto created, start assigning tasks to people. Peter obviously is part of this Teams group. I don't have, by the way, this is something at the back end will be created as the what's so-called an Office 365 group. It will be automatically created for that particular channel. The members will have access to those different tabs within Teams channel. So in this case, Peter will access the team, will go to the schedule and update his milestone. So this is one way of doing it. If you have the permissions or the privilege to create a new task, you'll do the same from Teams. So you go add task, and you go look. This is a task. I don't know, ABC. You can put it to a certain bucket. You can set a finish date, but you can also assign it to other people. I'm going to assign it to Bill, and off we go, and that's it. And now I add the task, so I can then manage my task via Teams. There we go. This is task ABC being created. Another application to manage tasks and assignment is Planner. So the same thinking applies again. I'm not going to show you 2 versions of it again, but the same thing. You create a plan in Planner, and then you create a tab for it. Similar experience, not exactly like Project for the Web, but you also create a task, assign it to people. You can see it in progress, the same thing. And you go, well, look, this is not started. This is in progress. You create a new task, same thing, task ABC. And then assign it to, again, Bill. And that's it. And you can add the task and so on. So very similar functionality. Question obviously is when would you use Planner? When would you use Project for the Web? We can take a bit of time talking about it, but in an essence, Project for the Web has more project management functionality like Gantt chart, for example, on task dependencies. it will have more integration with other parts of project management functions and so on. Planner is work management. Can be used for project management, but it's a more broader work management application of software. Right. So that's the kind of schedule and time and tasks management part of it. Let's have a look at the artifacts. So again, using that concept of automate, what you could do, you can create a dedicated SharePoint document library for each project you create, or in fact, a dedicated SharePoint site. So again, using that automate those steps, create a channel, create a SharePoint site, or document library, create a planner plan, create a project for the web project. All of these actions can be then automated as you create a new project from one application, and could be a number of applications, by the way. As you create a project in Project Online, in Jira, in even Excel, then go and do the following: create a new team, a new channel, a new planner, new project for the web, a new SharePoint site or a document library, whatever areas you need to manage your project. So automatically this Flow or Microsoft Automate has created a document library. I'll show you how you set it up if you haven't seen it before, in terms of bringing a document library into Teams. It's very straightforward. So you would go and say, look, I'm going to bring a SharePoint document library. Obviously, the code needs to handle the name and the location of this document library, so you don't have to choose it yourself every time. And basically, that's it. You go and bring. Look, I'm going to bring, I don't know, this one as an example. You go next. What's the document library? I'll just go, I don't know. Let's go with this one. And next. And that you can name it something. This is, I don't know, example or demo. And you go save, and that creates a document library. Again, you would do that on an existing channel, but the code has then to be smart enough to point the tab into the right document library. Again, that's all part of the Automate Flow. There's a number of articles on the internet to show you how that's been done. And then that's it, really. It's you can upload a document for it. So I go upload. I can then access my desktop and upload documents. I'll upload this one, for example, and put it on my document library. And from there on, it's just SharePoint functionality. If you want to trigger a workflow to get your document approved, that creates a task. And I guess I'll leave it to that from the document management perspective. Version and control, different views. You can create a new document per templates, and so on. That's kind of a SharePoint document management capabilities. Then you can manage other artifacts like risks, issues, change requests, whatever you want to call them. And again, I'm going to use SharePoint in this case. So I've already have a view here for risks. So you can create a new risk items. You can manage them. You can. So as you can see, I create a new risk, and that will bring the new risk form. If we give it a sec. And there we go. So you open the form. It's not the prettiest when it comes to SharePoint. It doesn't really, it looks like a browser inside Teams, but that works fine. What you could do, and I would recommend that that usage definitely, is use Power Apps instead of SharePoint interface. So I'll talk about the last two components that you can add to your, or recommended to be added to your teams when it comes to project management. Power Apps and Power BI. But before I do that, let's just create a new risk. So your risk, and you fill in the details and so on. I'm going to save that, and that will add as an item. And again, the same principle applies. You can then assign it to someone, trigger a workflow, and so on. So these are really the basics. So I schedule using Project for the Web Planner, documents using SharePoint Document Library, and artifacts like risks and issues and change requests and so on using either SharePoint list or apps. So Power Apps is one of those very brilliant new technology by Microsoft. You can call a Power App application. So you go, I want to insert a Power App inside my tab. You add the Power App to your Microsoft Teams, and then you call the relevant app. And the relevant app, we're not talking about apps that are only applicable into a, if you'd like, an offline type of application. It could be still people in the open, well, working from home, but not on-site type of apps. So it could be a cost estimation app. I'm just going to click this one and save the cost estimation. So if you want to do your project cost estimation, you can do it from here. And that's an app available for the users, becomes available for the users. Obviously, you'd have to develop that app. It could be a risk register, a risk assessment, procurement app, whatever the cases might be. So I'm going to start this app quickly. This is a cost estimation for the app. I can look, I'm not going to go through the details of this app, but I can go and start editing or adding a cost estimation for this project and so on. And there's different types of cost elements that I can add into my application. And then lastly, obviously reporting and dashboarding. So you go, okay, well, I need also to have a Power BI dashboard for the project status, for the resource management, for whatever type of applications you want to basically add. So I'm just going to go quickly pick one of those. Let's go with this one. And that basically bring that dashboard. Again, the automation of linking it to a dashboard relevant to this particular channel, i.e. project, also can be deployed and supported via the app and so on. So look, this is really a very quick view in 30 minutes on the integration or how Microsoft Teams can be used for managing projects. I hope it was useful. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you would like to have sample codes of the things that I just mentioned, the automation of creating a team rather than a channel, linking the tabs to the relevant or the appropriate URLs, let us know. Happy to supply them. But with all honesty, they are available on the net. If you just do a bit of research, they're all there. It's not like it's an IP that we keep to ourselves. Hope that you enjoyed and found something useful in this webinar, and hope that you have a good rest of the day. Thank you.